Hey everyone, buckle up, because today we're diving into something
Oh, yeah.
that could seriously revolutionize how you create courses, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed by the whole process.
It's funny because this system we're about to unpack was actually born out of that exact frustration, a course creator feeling like they were drowning in to-dos.
Okay, that's instantly relatable.
Yeah,
So many creators I know are brilliant at what they do,
right.
but the actual process of building and launching a course can feel like a second job.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's where the 10-80-10 method comes in. It's all about leveraging your expertise and automating the rest so you can focus on what you do best.
All right, I'm intrigued.
Huh?
Break this down for me.
Yeah.
What exactly is this 10-80-10 magic formula?
It's less about magic and more about smart delegation and using tools you probably already have.
Okay.
That first 10% is all about expert planning.
Right.
You, the course creator, are in the driver's seat mapping out your vision. Think modules, key takeaways, the core structure. And we're talking basic Google Sheets here, nothing fancy.
So, starting with a simple spreadsheet that
Yeah.
feels approachable,
Right.
even for someone who isn't a tech whiz.
Exactly.
But how does this actually help with the overwhelm?
It's about clarity.
Okay.
Instead of a million ideas floating around in your head,
Yeah.
you're getting them down in a concrete way. Let's say you're creating a course on, smartphone photography.
Okay.
Each module could be a row with columns for things like learning objectives, key concepts,
Yeah.
and even ideas for assignments.
Okay.
This becomes your master document.
I'm seeing how this starts to create order out of chaos.
Yeah.
But you mentioned automation. Where does that come in?
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Imagine this spreadsheet is like the DNA of your course.
Okay.
We've developed a system that takes your outline and uses it to automatically generate all the tasks needed in ClickUp,
Oh, wow.
a popular project management tool.
Wait, so the automation actually creates tasks based on my spreadsheet.
It does.
That sounds like a huge time saver.
It is.
for
Think
me.
about all those tiny steps involved in course creation, writing scripts, designing slides, sourcing images, finding guest experts.
Right.
All of that can be turned into predefined tasks with deadlines and even templates attached.
Okay, so 10% expert planning lays the groundwork.
Yes.
Automation builds the framework in ClickUp.
Uh-huh.
And that brings us to the 80%, right?
Right.
What's happening in this massive middle chunk?
This is where your virtual assistant, your VA, becomes your secret weapon.
Okay.
All those tasks we just talked about.
Yeah.
They're neatly organized and ready to go in ClickUp, complete with detailed instructions and any supporting materials your VA might need.
So it's not just about throwing 80% of the work at a VA and hoping for the best. No,
Yeah.
there's actual structure and support built in.
Exactly.
Okay.
The beauty is that you've already thought through the process during the planning phase.
Right.
Now, your VA is empowered to execute it, with you there for guidance and quality control, of course.
I'm starting to see how this could be a game changer for course creators.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking about that VA, 80% of the workload sounds like it could still be overwhelming, even with clear instructions.
That's a fair point, and it's why consistency is key.
Okay.
The automation ensures that every single task created from your spreadsheet has the same level of detail, the right custom fields in ClickUp,
Yeah.
and even templates for things like video scripts or social media posts.
So it's like having a built-in quality control mechanism that guides the VA every step of the way.
Precisely.
Okay.
And that brings us to the final 10%, where you, the expert, re-enter the picture.
All right, after all this automation, what's left for the expert to do?
Imagine this. All the groundwork is done. Content is drafted. Slides are almost ready. You're not starting from scratch, but rather stepping in to review, refine,
Yeah.
and infuse the course with your unique expertise.
So it's about working smarter, not harder. You're freed up to focus on the high-value elements that only you can provide.
Right.
This is really making me rethink my entire approach to course creation.
I love it.
But I have to ask about scalability.
Sure.
What if someone wants to create multiple courses? Do they have to go through this whole process each time?
That's where the power of the initial spreadsheet really shines.
Okay.
Let's say you want to create a course on editing those amazing smartphone photos you're now taking.
All right.
You update the spreadsheet with a new outline, run the automation, and boom, a whole new set of tasks is ready to go in ClickUp.
So instead of reinventing the wheel, you're essentially swapping out the content but keeping the same efficient structure.
That's the idea.
Okay.
It becomes a system you can use again and again,
Right.
saving you countless hours in the long run.
This is all starting to sound incredibly efficient.
Yeah, it is.
But before we get too deep into the weeds,
Okay.
I want to loop back to something you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
programmatic task creation.
Hmm.
Can you explain what that means in plain English?
Sure. It's a fancy way of saying that the automation process eliminates human error
Mm-hmm.
and ensures consistency.
Okay.
Think of them like a computer program that takes your input, spreadsheet, and follows a set of rules to generate the output. Perfectly formatted tasks in ClickUp.
So it's less about me meticulously creating each task in ClickUp and more about letting the system handle the heavy lifting.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this frees you up to focus on what matters most.
Yeah.
The content, the delivery, and ultimately the impact your course will have on your students.
This has been incredibly insightful,
Good.
but I'm already thinking about all the what ifs
Sure.
and potential roadblocks someone might encounter when trying to implement this.
Right.
I'm sure our listeners are too.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And that's exactly what we're going to tackle in part 2 of this deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore real-world examples of how this method works in practice, delve into some advanced tips and tricks,
All right.
even address some of those common concerns head-on.
Sounds like we've got a lot more to uncover.
We do.
Listeners, make sure you stay tuned for part 2, where we'll really get into the nitty-gritty of making this 10-80-10 method work for you.